Alright YouTube, it's time. We're going to start assembly. It's the next day after I disassembled the engine, so things are moved around a little, but we're pretty dang close. So excuse the shaky floor. Hopefully this is one of the few last videos in here on it. So first things first, we'll go over, I have parts here we're going to begin assembly in a minute. We'll go right here. I have the engine prepped. I have this just to keep dust out. I have cleaned my surface as best as I feel comfortable with a razor blade, because I don't want to dig into the aluminum, it's pretty soft. Bottom end seems fantastic. There's very tiny play in anything. Most of the play I have is side to side, which is normal. Everything over here looks happy, except for the existing piston and the existing cylinder, which are being replaced. Cylinder head and valve cover and cam all look very happy. This is the original head gasket. I mean, I don't see anywhere where it burned through. It looks pretty fine to me. So, can actually go in the rubbish pile. Alright, now for what we're going to work on right now. We're going to gap the rings. We're going to make sure that the rings we were sent with this kit are what goes with it. So we have our new honed cylinder. You can see how it's, or maybe, yeah, you can see the pattern going on in there. So I'm going to set this here. Got my rings here in a little bag, and I've got my new piston. I'm going to size everything and make sure it's all happy, because I still don't know what caused the ring landings in the previous build to break. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, so I'm using electrical pliers to open a bag, get over it. Alright, so if you don't know anything about rings or pistons or any of that, we've got 5 rings here. Well, hold on. Yeah, 5 rings. We've got 2 oil control rings, these small guys here. This wavy oil control ring, which goes between these two. I'll show you on the other piston. And then you will have an upper and lower compression rings. These are the ones that actually seal things off for the most part and scrape the oil off the sides. One thing I've learned is when you assemble them, you always assemble them quarter apart or half apart, where the lines never meet up. You also, when you assemble them, you want to make sure that you don't put them over the wrist pin. So you'll have them kind of like this setup here. And you'll do that with all of the rings. Let me get the other one real quick. So, as you can see on the broken one here, we have skinny ring, wavy ring, skinny ring, big ring, big ring. So, I am actually going to pull one of these off real quick to show you what measurement I'm looking for. See if I can do that without breaking one. Looks like I got lucky. That's how you pull a ring. Alright, so this is my upper compression ring. We're going to compare it inside the bore of this one, since this is the used cylinder, and see how worn it really was. Not bad, not bad. We're right up here where the worst of it is. That's actually about how it's supposed to be. You see our little gap here? I mean, it's a little bigger than it should be. So, what does this tell us? Being that these little chain guides in the engine are brand spanking new, and the gaskets that I did come encounter with were brand spanking new, I'm thinking that somebody put rings in this because it was starting to smoke and run bad. Because I've noticed a few things have gone through that weren't the way they were supposed to be. The valve cover was siliconed on. This was siliconed along the bottom. So I'm thinking they pulled this motor apart, put fresh rings in it trying to fix it, and that didn't completely fix it. At least that's my guess. So, because if we look at these rings, I mean, they are hardened. See if you can focus on it. There ain't much scratching going on with these ring edges. I mean, they're hardened, but there should be a little bit. So, that's one thing. So you see how this one lines up and everything. That's basically the gap we're going for with the new ones in this cylinder. Alright, lesson over with. Remove our chain spacer because we're going to need that bit. Now, I didn't mark which one was which, but being that this one has a coating on it and this one's coated, this one isn't. And let's look at the other one. This one's square and the other one was kind of rounded off. I'm going to say this is the top compression ring. Pretty nice. You see the gap? Just about the same as the other one. So I'm thinking that somebody put rings in that motor, trying to get it to work a little better. Let's check our bottom compression ring. Now you have to be very careful with these because they are very brittle. You bend them a little bit too much, snap, and then you're waiting on new ones. See, that one's good too. So I'm pleased with that. So now I'm going to go ahead and assemble this piston. Get it ready to put back on the bottom end of the motor, because you put the piston in, then you assemble everything else. Or you can do, some people I've seen, you'll assemble the piston, mount it in the cylinder. I think they do this with 2 strokes a lot. Put it all the way to the bottom of the cylinder, install the piston pin, and then put everything down together. It's easy enough just to do it this way. Most of the time you can see how this edge is flared. It's not terrible to put them in. I may do it the other way just because it is a little easier. So I'll get there when I get there. Right now we're going to pre-assemble and pre-lube all of this just to get everything happy, ready to go. So these are your keeper rings. They hold the wrist pin from sliding side to side out of the piston. So I'm going to do is install one of them. Something else I need to do real quick. Does this fit? It does. I'm going to look at this and figure out which is which. Well, we don't know. I do know this is a higher compression piston. If you look at the both of these, this one's dished, this one is flat. This is higher compression. Next, we have an arrow. I am assuming is toward the intake valves, as these two are closer together and these two are further away. Let's check the head for reference. Nope. Exhaust valves. So piston goes toward exhaust side. See how the exhaust valves are closer together and the intakes are further away? Exhaust valves are brown, exhaust ports, intake port. Okay. So as we're assembling, we need to make sure we know these things. Not that it matters with the pin, but it aids in my assembly, so I'm going to be assembling it in this direction, so I'm going to put this pin in, that way I can go through this way. I'll show you this on camera, but these things are known to go in the low Earth orbit as you're trying to fight them. Huh, not bad. Alright, got that. Let's put some rings on. And we're going to go bottom to top, because you have to put them down. If you watch, there's one. You just keep spinning them around, like so, to get them where they go. So there's one of the oil controls. Wavy ring really doesn't care. It's copper or brass or something. It doesn't really fight. Just make sure that it gets seated all the way. Nope, it's not going to. Okay, here we got a problem. Well, not a problem, something to show you. It's oil control ring, without breaking it. Wavy ring has ridges. I can't see nothing. Focus. Focus. See how it's got raised bumps here on the inside of it? Got to put this in first, then the little rings, because they sit on top of this. I guess this kind of acts like a little spring or something like that. Alright, that's installed. Oil control ring. What these guys do is, as the piston goes up and down, scrapes the oil back down into these holes to return it to the inside, to return the crankcase so you don't burn all your oil. Because some does get by. You want some lubrication getting to your top end, but you don't want a bunch. I mean, it's gonna burn a tiny bit. You don't want going crazy and burning all of it, as the case of, as this engine was doing. Alright. Just trying to line this one up with where it goes without breaking it, because that would be a very unpleasant day. Outer control ring acting funny. Alright, that one's installed. Now for the second one. Boom. Oil control rings installed. Now, I'm going to install our compression rings, which I want to be careful with because they are more fragile than the oil rings. I would really not like to break them. I mean, I could probably reuse what I've got, maybe, but I'd rather not try to find out. Trying to be very careful. I'm trying to show y'all, but I'm also trying to get this done. Alright, there's one. Now for the upper. Let's do letters up. Boom. There we go. Now, compression ring that way, compression ring that way. It's ready to install. Now, if I were going to install it, I would do like this. This is the direction of which it will be installed. There's one ring. There's two rings. And the oil control rings. Now it's ready to go back on the machine. Put my gasket here. Set this down. Push my wrist pin through. You know, that much. We finish making sure these are all happy. I'm going to put a little bit of pre-lube in there just to make sure. Let's see. I had a pokey tool somewhere. There we go. What it is probably that oil control ring acting funny again. Nope, there it goes. That's it. Boom, we're done. It's in there like it's supposed to be. Ew. Clean this up a little, because I don't want foreign debris in my engine. As little as possible. Being that I did this as an end frame and, you know, not really pushing the envelope of rebuilding it, just, you know, getting it done, I'm definitely going to change the oil as soon as I do a break-in run, just to make sure. Make sure everything's got a nice little coating. This stuff's pretty sticky. It kind of reminds me of trying to remember the name of it now. Give me a minute. I'll remember in a second. Like Motor Honey, but the variety that you use in power steering. Lucas Quick Repair, or whatever it's called, Power Steering Fix. It's about the consistency this is. I'm just doing this to make sure we get a nice little light coat of some kind of lubrication going on here, as this is the first time it is going together. There. Nice little light coat. Go ahead and get our wrist pin ready and halfway installed. Go ahead and lubricate it too. Everybody gets the lubrication today. Oops. I need this to slip back up a little. That's ready to go in. That's ready. We have our circlip here. Now we're going to open a gasket kit. And I'm going to, I gotta get this stuff off my hands. It's nasty. I'm going to go over my surface one more time to make triple sure that it's flat and clean. I'm going to install this gasket. I need to install this little guy where it goes. So, let's see. First things first, let's get this open. I have razor blade right here. Go ahead and trace this out without cutting into anything. Oh, it came with new exhaust gaskets. I didn't even notice that when I bought it. That's cool. I think the exhaust gaskets I removed were still good. So, it is an additional blessing. I know y'all don't want to see me do this, and you know what? I wouldn't want to watch somebody do this either. Ooh, I got a sticker to put on my truck. I got my Yee truck. I got to put all kinds of stickers on. Alright, most important one, Mr. Head Gasket. It's just stamped steel. You have a thermostat gasket, which I guess I need to check, because it came with one on it. And then this is our gasket here. Words up. Nope. Can't do it lazy. Gotta do it right. There we go. Got it backward. Words down, apparently. Usually they're words up on automotive stuff, but not this time. That's ready to go on. That's happy. I will install this once I put the part on the motor. Let's go ahead and go over real quick. What are we at? 19 minutes. Ooh, getting rough for a YouTube video. Alright, y'all can look down to where I am here. This is where we're working. I'm going to go over it one more time with the razor blade. I literally just had that razor blade. How many times that happened to y'all? Working with something, razor blade grows legs. Anything, tool, anything of any type. Just up and grows legs. Well, instead of wasting your time looking for the razor blade I just have, I guess I'll get another one. Let me step on by y'all real quick. nice freshy. Now this video I'm not going to finish assembling the motor since I've taken so much of your precious time already. I'm going to slap the piston on that connecting rod right there and lower Mr. Cylinder down. And then the next video, we'll put the head on. What you think of that? And then after that, we'll work on who knows what else. See, I'm like starting to pull a little bit of aluminum up as I'm scraping here, so I don't want to keep pushing too hard. But you can see it's still discolored from the old gasket. And I kind of want to get that up. From a new gasket has every chance. I mean, this is not helpful because there was silicone mixed in with this. And I don't want the debris falling inside of my engine. That would be unpleasant. Undesirable. You probably can't see nothing but the back of my head. Maybe a little over here, maybe. You might be able to see. Got the old redneck surgery light set up again. Alright, that's, I think, as much as I'm getting. Yeah, I just saw some debris fall in the cylinder. I think I'm going to get over it. Like I said, I'm going to run it for a minute, and then soon, right after I run it, it's getting an oil and a filter change. Run it a little longer to break it in, and it's going to get another oil and filter change. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting any more out of this. Once more on this one. I think there's supposed to be a dowel here. Let me make double sure it's not on the old one. I may have to switch that over real quick. Yep. Two of them. Alright, show you real quick. See, there's a spot here and there for a dowel. It's not in the block because it's in here. Actually, that gasket might be for this piece. Maybe not. So we got to figure out how to get these guys out real quick without damaging them. Let's try the electrician's pliers. Not gonna work, I don't think. That one came out easy. Was this one? This one, on the other hand, it looks like it wants to fight. Alright, we'll try that one. It's a little more difficult. You can't see nothing. There we go. Didn't tear it up too much. Install it in a new one. Alright, there's that. So we have our dowels, have our cylinder lined up. Now comes the part where you need about 16 hands. So I think I actually am going to call it here. You'll just have to wait on the next video, but you have learned about piston rings and all that kind of stuff. Or, you know, some of y'all are just going to scream at me, "Oh no, you did it wrong." Well, you know what, that's how I've done it, that's how I do it. Everything I have built, which you can see in all my videos, has run perfectly and still runs perfectly. So I do keep in contact with a lot of my customers. But that's that. I'm going to film the rest later when my screen decides to work again. But comment, rate, subscribe. Have an awesome day.